Retro Rob plays everything.
Hey, Rob here, and it's time for yet another pickup video. That's right, I've got more crap. This is a lot of cartridges and like kind of loose stuff. So even though it's not a lot of, there's not a huge variety of stuff, there's just a lot of stuff. So I don't know why I'm warning you about that. I have nothing there. Because usually I take a picture and just show everything in the frame anyway. Coffee's pretty good today. My hair's terrible. Look at that. Great. Welcome to Hair Talk with Rob, where we talk hair and cartridges. Exciting. I also have my other light off, which, I don't know, looks alright. Oh, haul video. Alright, first thing I got, this was kind of hard to get. I got a third sensor for my Oculus Rift. By the way, I am going to be doing some Oculus videos. I've got like a 1 month with the Oculus Rift coming up. It's all like written out and everything. I just have to do the actual showing you of the stuff that I'm talking about. So that's coming up pretty soon. I'm pretty darn excited about it. I'm also going to try something crazy with the Oculus. I'm going to try hooking that thing up to the GPD Pocket. I just want to see if it works at all. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason why I think it might stand a chance of working is because I've taken the Oculus DK1 and I've hooked it up to some pretty weak sauce stuff and had it work fine. I mean, not great, but it actually worked fine on a lot of games. So I thought that maybe if I find some of those tech demos and stuff, you might actually be able to run it on the Pocket. So more on that. And if you're watching, it's funny because I got, there's multiple audiences that watch my videos, and there's some that are really diehard just GPD and that's all they watch. And then there's some people that just watch the retro stuff, and then there's, well, nobody that watches these actually. But there's a few, yeah. Vigigamer, hey, how's it going? And Ryan's sometimes out there too. Some of his stuff shows up in here because some of it comes from him. God, I'm talky today. Just give me another one of those comments. You could have got this video done in about 7 minutes. Woo. I could be a Chinese jet pilot too, but I'm not. Alright, so I don't know what the comment meant. The second thing, Tower Toppler. This was called Nebulous, where I first saw it, and I think it was on the Amiga or the Commodore 64. It was one of the two, and I really loved the heck out of this game, and I wanted it for the 7800, and strangely, I just didn't have it. So I picked this up. It was kind of expensive. I mean, it was like, well, for what it is, it was like 12 bucks or something delivered. So it's more than I generally pay for my Atari stuff, but it was okay. I'm gonna, man, what am I gonna do with this? I'm gonna go with this. This is, I'm gonna do a video on this particular item, but this is an adapter that basically allows, and I'll put the name of it down below. I cannot remember offhand. It's like the Pro Connector or something like this. But anyway, this allows you to plug Atari 2600 controllers into a ColecoVision. So this end goes into the ColecoVision. This end goes, this end goes into the Atari controller. Now I realize you can plug it directly, and I hear that crap all the time. That's true. That's absolutely that's valid. But there are games that require you to have this pad on the controller for the game to work. I know that up close and personal because I happen to own a rip-off ColecoVision as well, and that is that has some games that I can't actually run on it because of that. So because its pad is sitting on the 2-in-1 has the pad sitting on the console itself. Man, this is going to be a rambler of a video. I'm so sorry. But anyway, this was kind of expensive. This is like a $30 device. So it's really clean though. I mean, it's like, if you look at it, it's perfect. So it's a really nice example of it. I'm excited to have it. I think I'm going to really get some use out of this because I do like ColecoVision a lot lately. Not necessarily the ColecoVision Holdings company, but ColecoVision itself. If you don't know anything about what's going on with ColecoVision these days, just Google some ColecoVision And yeah, their community's basically, man, having a rough time. So sorry about that, Coleco fans. Great system. Company's having a rough time. Okay, next. I got a Sega Game Gear. I just have decided to get into Game Gear again, which of course is, as it always is, at like the most expensive time I could. These were worthless for the longest time, but now they're starting to go up in value. I'll show you that in a minute. But anyway, I got this Game Gear. Wait, here, box. It's look at Rob's big head while he looks at something. What a great video. Anyway. Oh, man. Good stuff, right? Good stuff. All right, we're going to start with the Game Gear, which looks like it's in great shape. Unfortunately, see, they didn't say anything about the condition. That's my fault. Fine. Unfortunately, it's got bad caps in it. It's not a big deal. Capacitors, by the way, if you're wondering what a cap is. But anyway, that's a very common problem with this. So the screen's really severely messed up. That said, I can recap it. It's not that hard of surgery. Fortunately, these suckers were built pretty big, but it does have the door covers and everything. Also, I have a Japanese version of the Game Gear coming, so I'll probably just be flying with that one. Also, in the container, one of the nice things, by the way, about this container is, yeah, look at that. It's got spaces for everything, which is pretty nice. And the everything is, I'm going to go into that, one AC adapter, one of these little screen zoom thingies, which is kind of funny because I really don't find the need for it with the Game Gear, but whatever. There is also a battery adapter, an iCAD battery adapter. I was going to go look and see if there are kits for refurbing these because of course, you know, the battery is long dead on this. But I bet I can refurb the battery on it from somewhere and get that working again, which I think would be kind of interesting. Modern batteries tend to last a little bit longer in these too, but they didn't have the greatest playtime. Okay, so as far as games that came with this, I think my wife got it for like 36 bucks, but the delivery was a nightmare. It was like somewhere. Oh no, I picked this one up. The other one's the one my wife ordered. Memory. It's gonna happen to you kids. It's gonna happen to you. Bad memory. No, this one I picked up. I think it was about 40 bucks delivered for everything. So that's the bag and these games. So I'm going to show you the games now. First one is Halley Wars. Haley Wars. Haley? Is it about the Halley's Comet back then? There's that. Nice looking cart. Which is one I haven't actually seen. Putt and Putter. Is that a Dumb and Dumber reference? Well, mini golf game. I actually like mini golf games, so hopefully it'll be okay. Dragon Crystal, which is Come See Come Sa. I've got Zool, which is a game that I absolutely love, being an Amiga guy, and it's also a it's also in this little plastic container, which I like. Super Off-Road, another game that I absolutely love. I'm terrible at it, though. Especially on a small screen. Not good. Paperboy 2 from Tengen. Don't hear from them anymore. So there's Paperboy 2. I like Paperboy. I think I did play Paperboy 2 a couple times. I didn't, you know, like I said, I think by then the Paperboy ambiance or the spell that Paperboy had over me was gone, and it wasn't that great to me. I loved the original Paperboy though. Sonic 2, everybody gets that. One of the best games for it though. Shinobi 2. And then, hey, is that a second Sonic the Hedgehog 2? Oh, this one's... Yeah, there's 2 copies of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'll be darned. So that makes it, even though I didn't have a Game Gear before, I think I have about 4 copies of this now. But anyway, that's all that came in. So it came... Well, no, I mean that came in this particular set, the Sega set. That ended up being, I think, like I said, $40. So that's the case. Oh, it also had. I'm sorry. Yep, the other thing I forgot was it's got all the manuals for everything. That's a big deal. Believe it or not, it also has. I love this. It's got this here. I'm just going to show it to myself, and then you can. It's a reaction video. It's a reaction to me looking at advertising for games. I think that's a great reaction video. Those are kind of out now, aren't they? Look at that. Get a grip. I don't even think H3 does those anymore, do they? The reaction videos, he just kind of does like his show with his wife. Which, that's pretty good, by the way, if you haven't seen that. If you didn't like him back like years ago, which I didn't really think he was very good, now I think he's really good. I really like watching his stuff. He's really pretty entertaining. I mean, I think he still does a lot of hyperbole, but you know, who doesn't? Here's a little ad for the TV module. Only $60, which you'll probably get about, what, 3 signals now? If you're in Europe and don't know, the U.S. has basically gotten rid of regular old NTSC broadcasting in favor of forcing HD down everybody's throat. That was years ago, though. We're still bitter about it. There's another manual, Game Gear manual. That was not in this auction, by the way. The Game Gear instruction manual, which I will hold near and dear to my heart. Super Off-Road manual. Another Genesis poster. Boy, I got a few of these. If you're like a super like mega Sega fan and this completes your collection or something, throw me a line and I'll you know, I can mail one out to you if you want one. I'm not gonna hoard all of them. So if it's like something that's so important to you that you have to have it, just let me know. Game Gear, Haley Wars, Holly Wars, whatever. Haley, Holly, I don't know. Good thing it's already broken. Game Gear separates the men from the boys. That's good. Dragon Crystal manual. I should have pointed out these manuals along with it. Putt and Putter. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Oh, there's a Zool manual. That is actually pretty nice. So for what I paid for it, it's okay. I mean, by today's standards, that's an okay deal. By a couple year ago standards, not so great, because you used to be able to get them for dirt. Now, those of you who watch for my Atari pickups, you're going to be pleasantly surprised, maybe not surprised, you're going to be happy with what I picked up here, because it's like a big old bucket of games that we got off of Goodwill, I believe. There's some stuff that I've wanted in here for a while and don't have. I don't know if you're recent to this station, and a lot of people are actually pretty new. I had like a huge Atari collection and got rid of it, and now I'm just basically rebuying it, because that's what I do. You know, I sell stuff when it's low, and then I go and buy it when it's really expensive, because that's very logical. But anyway, so I've been recollecting, and there's a lot of basics that I just don't have. You know, I'll go out after weird stuff, but a lot of the basic staples of Atari 2600 I don't have. So some of these actually are stuff that I don't have, which would be Pitfall, believe it or not. I did not have laying around. Now I have 2 of them. Pitfall, of course, being one of the... Ooh, I'm going to get it if I say this. Well, it's one of the early examples of a side-scrolling platformer, and arguably one of the better ones. Of course, Pitfall 2 was great, too. There is Donkey Kong. I believe there's another Donkey Kong in here. Yes, 2 Donkey Kongs. So long and strong like Donkey Kong. There is a mystery cartridge, which I'm guessing is Donkey Kong probably as well. Maybe Donkey Kong Jr. E.T. The extra testicle. Gorf, great game, by the way. This is a game I played a lot in the arcades. Actually, I think I did a Sorry Atari on it. I'm 100% sure I did a Sorry Atari on it. Here's another game I used to play the living crap out of when I was younger. Mountain King. Love this game. Did not have it. Really glad to have it again. Good game. And now the theme's running in my head. Anyway, good game. Next, Reactor, which is another one with a great theme. This game was really well known in arcades because of its really loud, bassy music. It was really pretty good. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do the music for it again. That would be 2 in a row, and that's just too much. Too much. So Reactor, really good game. You're basically trying to stop a reactor meltdown by. I'm trying to remember if you're an electron or not. But anyway, you're basically trying to keep the reactor cool. It's really good though. It's a fun game. It's way more exciting than it sounds by my crappy description, but pretty good stuff. I didn't show these. All right, Haunted House. Come to find out, I have a few of those. Pac-Man. Oh, what collection is complete without a few Pac-Mans? Which I do have a few. Night Driver. This is another game I actually did play a lot, largely because I thought it was so neat that there was like houses and trees on the side. I don't know why that to me was a novel concept, but in video gaming it was at that time. I mean, you just didn't see it on the home consoles a lot. It was just basically a car and a street, you know. So pretty exciting. Asteroids, played a lot of this with my friends. Two-player was it wasn't two-player simultaneous as I recall. Was it? No, it might have been. But I do remember we'd take turns for scores, and we used to play that a lot. Sword Quest, Fireworld, is it? Is it Fireworld? Yeah, Fireworld's the one I didn't have when I was a kid. I had Waterworld, which is it's an adventure game of sorts. The Atari did kind of bill it as like some kind of adventure-like game, you know, which it wasn't really. It was more side-scrolly. It also came with a cartoon, like a comic book, and they had a huge contest. A lot of you guys probably know this already, but if you don't, there's just like a huge contest, and it's kind of gone down in infamy because it was right at the collapse of Atari, and some of the prizes actually ended up disappearing. The contest never actually ended, I guess. I know a couple people did get their prizes, but some of the major prizes just disappeared off the face of the earth. I'll have to look that up. You know, it could be that they found out what happened to them by now. There's some rumors that Atari might have just melted them down. Night Driver. Hey, I just talked about that one. Another copy of Night Driver. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I absolutely love this game. Used to play the heck out of it. I'm pretty sure I got another copy of it, but used to play the heck out of it with my dad. So he would play the inventory, and I'd play indie. And we must have finished this game. I don't even know how many times, just dozens of times. I should do a walkthrough on that one of these days. Because, you know, what we really need is another walkthrough of Raiders of the Lost Ark, except with somebody that babbles on forever about stuff having nothing to do with the game. I think that would be good, right? Comments down below. Entombed. Used to play this with my uncle. This is definitely going to show up on Sorry Atari. I used to really love this game. I honestly don't remember much about it though. So I'm going to be doing that one though. Once I get the history. Another copy of Yars Revenge. I've got several different versions of Yars Revenge now. I've got the later version of it that had that kind of brownish, orangish cover. Or reddish? Is it red? I don't know. I don't really care for those later ones, but I like the earlier ones with this art. I've got World's Most Beat Up Chopper Command. Hear that? Sounds healthy. I'm gonna try it anyway just to see if it works. I like Chopper Command too. It was kind of a Defender clone. It was, in some ways, it was a little bit better than Defender because you basically had a helicopter. Thus, Chopper Command makes sense, right? But then you had a bunch of little vehicles you were trying to keep from getting destroyed by your enemies. So you try and shoot down your enemies before they destroyed all your little trucks. It's cool. It was kind of a cross between Defender and Missile Command. A little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, because you remember Defender did have little guys that they would pick up. Instead of picking them up, they're blowing them up. So anyway, more Pac-Man. One can never have too much. There should be a Pac-Man landfill somewhere. Space Invaders, yet another super popular Atari game. I've talked about it about a million times now. Really good version of it. I've just got enough. But wait, there's more. There's the Sears version of Space Invaders without a front label. Miss Pac-Man, good Pac-Man version. It did actually make up for the travesty that was Pac-Man. I've got some good stuff at the bottom of this, by the way. It's coming. It's coming. Centipede, which is a really crappy version of Centipede. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you had seen it, you would want to unsee it. It just basically, by the time Centipede came out, there were good Atari ports of arcade games, so you expected a little bit more, and what they gave you was basically a block shooting some other blocks. And it's like, really, guys? Kind of cheap. Anyway. Another copy of Miss Pac-Man, but this time, look at, it's got Daniel's name on it. So Daniel, if you're out there, I got your Miss Pac-Man. Just saying. Warlords. No front cover. That sucks. Great game. I've got about 4 copies of that, too. Bowling. I actually like Atari bowling. I think I've mentioned that in the past. I'm from Wisconsin. We like bowling here. That's like our sport. Don't make fun of my people. Combat. A staple of Atari-ness. It's a great game. I mean, most people who are like in their 40s, we've logged a million hours on Combat. Great game to play with your parents, great game to play with friends and family. Highly recommend it. Even now it's a fun game to play. Kaboom! What do I have to say about this? Catch bombs that a guy who just escaped from prison is throwing down on you. Actually, a really good game. It was a huge hit for Activision, and it's quite good. You play it with a paddle. Those of you who may have played it with a joystick on those Atari remakes, no, not the way to play it. You play it with a freaking paddle, and you better have that potentiometer cleaned before playing. Your mother should have told you to keep your potentiometers clean. Very important. Casino. A real casino experience. Nah, it's crap. Although I did play blackjack a lot. That was okay. Defender of all games. Again, I got this thing. I cannot get a copy of Defender with the front cover on it. I cannot get it. What the heck? Over and over again, I get copies of that damn game without an end label on it. What the heck? Surround. This is a really good game. I'm trying to remember what the other name for this game was. There was another name for Surround because we had the Sears version of it. What the heck was it? I've got it in here somewhere. Played a lot. Basically, it's your basic Snake game. You've got except it's a Snake game without the eating. You basically start as a lime. Oh, light cycles. Tron light cycles. It is Tron light cycles basically. So basically, you try and bump off the other player. It's a fun game. Actually, it looks like crap. Oh, it also, as a side, it also had a little drawing game in it, so you could draw little pictures with on your Atari with it, which is kind of interesting. It's very crude by today's standards. There's basically draw and erase, and it's at Atari cursor size resolution. So it's but I still used to draw stuff with it all the time when I was a kid. Because I was lonely. Very lonely. Another copy of Pac-Man. What does that make it? 3? No end label. Jeez. Ooh, Star Master. Spent a lot of time with this game as well. You are in a spaceship. Dude, this is Elite before there was Elite. Actually, before this game, yeah, that might not be true too, because Star Master's kind of a ripoff of an Atari game, which was called Star Raiders, isn't it? Did Star Raiders come out first? Come on, down below. You guys know it. Darn it, was Star Raiders out first? But anyway, it's a game a lot like Star Raiders in that, you know, it's a first-person space combat sim, but there's an overhead map, and you warp to different sectors and try to protect the sectors. So in Ataridom, that was a whole new level of depth that you hadn't seen very often before in games, because you had a strategic goal that you had to do. It wasn't just for points. It wasn't just to finish them off. You literally had to like defend star bases and stuff. It's actually a really good game and fun. Circus Atari, another big old classic, and this one at least has its end cap, even though, or its end label, even though it's a little bit beat up. Wait, hey, I found out what that other white one was. Oh my goodness. I'll be darned. Here's the cover for it. I didn't notice this before. It was Zaxxon. That was the mystery game. I was absolutely wrong about what the mystery game was. It was Zaxxon, which is quite possibly one of the most scandalous arcade to home conversions. It's really bad. It turned it into like a, I don't know. I mean, it was a 3D isometric shooter, and it turned it into a 3D I can't tell where I am shooter. They did the exact same thing on the Intellivision too. So both the Intellivision version and the Atari version were really crappy, but the ColecoVision version was really, really, really good. And come to find out, you know, the ColecoVision version was done by the same guy that made the Dungeon board game. I know that because I interviewed him for Guys, Games, and Beer once. And I thought that was interesting as heck. I'll have to link up that interview. I'm going to put that interview up on this station one of these days too, because it doesn't, like the audio version of it does well, but YouTube stuff doesn't do real good for G2B, probably because you're looking at us. There's not a lot to see really on it. I'm really selling that. Should listen to it though. It's occasionally enlightening. Anyway, that's Guys, Games, and Beer, folks. Okay, dodge 'em. What's it like? It's like there was a Namco game that was a lot like it. Rally X. It's a little bit like Rally X, like a really early prototype of Rally X, where you basically go down the road and try to avoid other cars, and it's a maze-like road. It's a little bit more basic. It's a little bit more, you know, just round, but of a round track. Well, a square track. But it's kind of like Rally X. It's okay. It was never one of my favorites. It was kind of big. Dodge 'em actually was. It did okay on the Atari. A lot of my friends really liked it. I wasn't a real big fan. Missile Command. Defend yourself from the Zardanians, who are, I remember part of the manual. I can't believe that. They're launching IPBMs at you. That's interplanetary ballistic missiles. And you are defending your cities from these IPBMs, and it's a great game. It's actually a really good home version of the arcade. If you have not played the arcade, you absolutely should play it. Street Racer, which is complete and utter garbage in my opinion. Even the two-player mode sucked butt. The car took up about half the screen. And then you would press on your paddle button, you know, to accelerate, and use your paddle to control it, and basically hit everything on the screen, because there's only 2 lanes of traffic, even though you could drive in between it. It was just, no, it was not very good. Another copy of Warlords. Didn't we talk about Warlords? We did, right? Well, in case I didn't, Warlords is really good. 4-player with paddles, man, that is good stuff. Alright, finally, there's the stuff I kind of bought this lot for. I didn't realize these are kind of beat up copies, but these are some games that I wanted, and I'm trying to remember the name of the company. Mythigan? Mythigan, it's on here, good. Mythigan. But anyway, these 3 games are Sorcerer. And like I said, a little bit beat up, but not bad. Star Fox. No, it's not the Star Fox you're thinking. Not by Nintendo. And finally, Firefly. So we got a game that, you know, later on was named after a popular Nintendo license. And then, of course, Firefly, which is a great sci-fi show, which had nothing to do with it because, of course, this came out way before. But anyway, these 3 games, they're not like super rare, but they are unusual to see in the wild. So I basically bought the lot to get those, and there were a few fill-ins, like I mentioned. So I think it was a pretty good haul. I enjoyed it. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, do me a big favor, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and you'll get more of this babbling that I do a lot of. See you in a couple days, by the way. Way more GPD Pocket stuff is coming up. I've been like really playing the heck out of the Pocket. I've got quite a bit to say about it. If you're a big fan of the GPD stuff, yeah, there's a lot coming for you. See you later. Bye.
Retro Rob's gaming videos.
I can't get to my mouse. I blocked it in. Atari cartridges. Jeez.